Hello, my name is Gonzalez. Welcome to my adult education and training journey. This journey will tell you a little bit about who I am, how I started out in the field, and walk you through the multitude of learning experiences, personal growth, and professional development that the AET program has provided for me. Let's get started on this journey together. A little bit about me. Well, I'm a New York City native. I currently now live in New Orleans, so I'm considered a NOLA transplant. I work in the field of training and talent management, and I'm really excited to be starting as a chapter board member for the ATD New Orleans chapter as the VP of Programs. Very excited to be creating new training events for our members, existing ones, and looking to see how we can broaden our chapter membership. I also consider myself a very curious and lifelong learner in that I am always very intrigued in how we can create engaging learning environments and really pushing the envelope and thinking outside the box in how we design and facilitate training. I also consider myself a creative thinker and very passionate about my field. I try to stay abreast on current training and talent management trends, whether it be reading a ATD article, attending a webinar, attending a seminar, networking with people on LinkedIn. I really just try to stay very connected to individuals near and far because it's really proven an outlet for me to meet new people and learn new trends in our field. So how exactly did I end up in the field of training and development? Like many other people, not everyone knows exactly what career path to choose. My passion for training and development came about in my junior year of my undergraduate studies while at Baruch College. At the time, I was majoring in corporate communication, and one of my favorite professors, a mentor in the program, was also an experienced transformational performance consultant, leader, and speaker. She captivated me in the classroom, motivated me to learn, engaged me in the learning, and exposed me to the field of training and development. I was instantly hooked. I too enjoyed teaching others. While working to complete my undergraduate degree, I was also working full-time in the area of managed care as an operations analyst and was designated the departmental trainer. We've all been there. You're good at what you do, so you can teach others, right? Well, not so much. I will take credit in knowing my role in departmental operations very well, but I always felt that I could do better to convey the learning and in teaching others. I wanted to exude the same qualities and attributes in my learning design and facilitation that my mentor had. On the exact evening of my undergraduate ceremony, I began courses at NYU's School of Professional Studies to learn a little more about the principles of adult learning and instructional design. My passion for the field had continued to grow, but I wasn't sure if I was exactly ready to begin graduate school. These courses were helpful for two reasons. It provided an overview of the adult learning theories, and two, it gave me a taste for the field of adult learning and training, and I wanted more. After, I was then promoted to a leadership role where I was given the opportunity to collaborate with corporate learning to design and develop learning for employees. I loved working with this team as the SME and having the insight in the design. I soon realized that this was my passion. I enjoyed teaching others and designing learning. Like many of my peers in this program, I still needed validation. I wanted to feel confident that I was knowledgeable enough in this field to be a practitioner of training and development. Intuitively, I felt like what I was doing felt right to me and was working for the business, but I was still craving the fundamentals. I wanted to learn the principles, methods, and theories of adult learning. I then was transitioned into a new great role where my sole responsibility was to design, develop, and deliver training for leaders and for staff for professional development. If never the time to seek the validation, now was the time. After some research, I found myself excited and enthusiastic to start at Colorado State University in the Adult Education and Training program. With a focus on reflecting back to my AET journey, I took a moment to reflect back to my Statement of Purpose letter to tap into exactly what I was feeling and what I wanted from the AET program when I started back in January of 2014. There are three major themes that stand out when I reviewed this letter. Number one, the need to achieve both professional and personal goals. Number two, to leverage theory and practice to build the skills to better serve my organization. And number three, to establish an adult learning framework to increase my instructional design skills and build critical talent and development competencies to achieve workplace success. When reflecting on the academic development that the AET program has provided, the first things that come to mind are the various philosophies of adult learning that we've explored throughout the program, various adult learning methods that I am now able to incorporate into my facilitation and instructional design, and the plethora of tools that I've now added to my training and development toolbox. Adult learning theories provided a deep insight into exactly how adults learn. This helped me both as a facilitator of learning and as a designer of learning to be more effective and skilled in my craft. The knowledge I received in this learning enabled me to be more responsive to the needs of the learners and thus evolved my learner-centric approach to teaching and learning. Key theories that have positively impacted my design and facilitation are self-directed learning, as known through Malcolm Knowles, experiential learning, the works of John Dewey and David Cole, and transformational learning through the work of Jack Mezirow. Self-directed learning is a theory that I hold true to how I see myself as a lifelong learner, but also in how to construct a learning environment for others. I view myself as a facilitator of learning, and with that comes much responsibility. My primary change in facilitation and instructional design has been a shift from a teacher-centered learning to a learner-centered teaching style. I flex my instructional design to include elements of self-directed learning. For example, I now create instruction that offers an opportunity for learners to have a say-so in their learning objectives and outcomes, rather than I determining what those should be for them. Malcolm Knowles states that adult learning is based on these 6 principles. In addition, I've also introduced the concept of learning contracts, which is a tool that supports and guides these 6 principles. In the AET program, we explored the works of John Dewey through the synthesis and reflection paper of his book, Experience in Education. Dewey is most known for founding the belief that teachers should be facilitators to learning and not lecturers spouting out information. Through my reflection of Dewey and experiential learning as a whole, I've adopted the learner-centric approach to facilitating and creating learning. I create learning environments that invites the learner to share their experiences and connect them to the subject matter. I try to always foster an environment that allows learners to explore and discover the meaning of the content and how it connects with them, rather than just feeding them the information. I achieve this by designing learning that involves the learner in the creation of the content. Jack Mezirow is most notably considered the founder of transformative learning. This theory operates under the idea that learning is more than merely the acquisition of information. Rather, transformative learning is a process where learners critically reflect on their life experiences, allowing their perspectives and point of views to be challenged, thus evolving new learning. Transformative learning encourages learners to dramatically rethink their position in the world and how they approach learning situations moving forward. As a facilitator of learning, I utilize the following activities for transformative learning in coaching. Assist learners to become aware and critical of their assumptions that lead to the interpretation of beliefs, habits of the mind, and points of views. Engage in critical reflection that may possibly lead to transformative learning. Allow learners to engage in discourse. Utilize storytelling and dialogue aids in the natural process of sharing experiences. Coach learners through discourse and reflection, and supply learners with resources of opposing perspectives to expand on that dialogue. Transformative learning has been a tool that I use in coaching with senior leadership. It's been very helpful in allowing them to see their current point of views and how they can better perform in the workplace. My experience at Pingree Park was truly a life-changing experience. This experience changed me for the better from both a professional and personal perspective. I learned so much throughout this week about experiential learning by toggling my learner hat and facilitator hat. I stepped out of my comfort zone in so many ways to push through and experience transformational changes in how I view myself as a professional, learner, and as an individual. I met people with such a versatile professional background that encouraged me in so many ways to push through my fears to get to the prize. These experiences enabled me to be more in tune and empathetic as a facilitator of learning, especially in areas of professional development and coaching. I am able to metaphorically frame my experience to those in my learning environment who are also pushing through their comfort zones when role-playing or practicing simulations. Wearing both the learner and facilitator hat that week taught me so much about how I can positively impact my learners as well. Experience at Pingree Park also introduced me to the visual model of a learner-centric approach to facilitation. I too viewed learning from a linear flow in that knowledge is transmitted from the teacher to the student. I now see how the facilitator of learning, where knowledge exists and experience exists within the learning environment and exchanged and received in a cyclical process, where reflection and discourse help to share knowledge and create new meaning. Prior to my experience at Pingree, I often referred to the visual on the left and how I should be a facilitator of learning. I now understand that I am guiding my learners through the experience of learning. When reflecting on my professional development, 3 key themes come to mind. My improved understanding in how adults learn, my improved facilitation skills within the classroom, and also my improved instructional design in creating learning. I've become a more engaging facilitator through the adult learning methods and techniques I've acquired. The Adult Learning and Methods course enabled me to analyze the various teaching methods of instruction to be a more effective facilitator of learning and instructional designer. I've developed techniques that enables my learners to better retain information, to have successful learning outcomes, and increase learning transfer. Some of these techniques include schema, scaffolding, critical reflection, and content chunking. In the Process and Methods course, I've been able to utilize several techniques that have helped to increase learning transfer in the classroom. Scaffolding is a technique first seen in Vygotsky's zone of proximal development concept. In scaffolding, the facilitator is offering support and guidance to learners as they build on known information and create new understanding. It is a technique that requires the facilitator to observe, engage the learner, talk through the task, and gradually withdraw when the learner is able to successfully complete the task independently. Schema theory enables learners to utilize building blocks of intelligent behavior, which is a way of organizing knowledge. This technique helps learners to organize information and make sense of what they see and interpret their surroundings. Content chunking breaks content into manageable and easily digestible pieces to enhance and maximize the learning potential of participants and learning retention. And last, critical reflection allows learners the opportunity to critically reflect on new knowledge to make sense of the learning and reflect on changes in perception, thought, and/or behavior. These techniques have been very useful in the classroom and in instructional design, as I have seen increases of learning transfer that are tied back to behavior change, performance and improvement, and/or knowledge retention. When reflecting on my personal development throughout the AET program, there are 3 things that I've been able to achieve: become an organizational leader, serve the community, and become a lifelong learner. How the AET has engaged me as a learner. The AET program has sparked my interest to learn more about the field of training and development. I now have a grown interest to continue to learn and seek opportunities to learn with others. I attend professional development seminars, utilize webinars to chime in on new trends or research within the field, and leverage massive open online courses to gain a global perspective when learning. Commitment to the profession of training and development is seen in my involvement with the Association for Talent Development, ATD, as a member, and my role as a board member to the ATD NOLA chapter. I am committed to being a leader in the field by putting forward the work and effort to connect with others in the community to the profession to increase awareness of the industry. I believe that we are only as successful as our counterparts. To that end, the profession will continue to grow and thrive by community leaders putting forth the effort to expand and grow the profession. As I reach closure in the AET program, I do reflect on my future goals and plans. My 5-year plan is to achieve CPLP certification that is offered by the Association of Talent Development, ATD, for experts in the field of training and talent management. I also would like to be in a leadership role within talent management where I'm either leading a team or a function. Moving on to my 10-year plan, I'd like to complete a performance consulting certification, and with that coupled the opportunity to do some independent performance consulting. This AET program has really exposed me as well to the area of research. So my 10-year plan does include to pursue a doctoral program in the area of training and talent management, where my research can serve the community at large, my independent work, or my current workplace. I'd like to thank you all for joining me on my AET journey. I close with this quote from Steve Jobs: "The only way to do great work is to love the work you do." I can truly say that I love what I do and will continue to strive in the field to develop and grow.